The police were already inside the apartment. They had spoken to him. They had seen him standing just a few feet away. And then, without a single sound, the man disappeared. No open doors, no broken windows, no signs of escape. Just an empty hallway where a person had been standing only seconds earlier. How does someone vanish into thin air, right in front of law enforcement? This is one of those cases that defies every logical explanation, leaving behind only questions and a chilling sense of the unknown. Our story begins at 11:47 p.m. when an emergency dispatcher receives a call. The man on the other end of the line claims he's being followed. But his voice isn't panicked, it isn't rushed. In fact, dispatchers would later describe him as being unusually, almost unnaturally, calm. He gives his full name, he provides his exact address. Then he says something that makes the dispatcher pause. If they stop following me, it means you're already too late. The dispatcher, trying to make sense of the situation, asks who they are. There is a short pause on the line before the man replies with two unsettling words, "You won't see them." Given the strange nature of the call, officers are dispatched immediately. When they arrive at the apartment building, everything seems perfectly normal. It's a quiet residential complex on a quiet night. No noise complaints from neighbors. No reports of suspicious activity. The officers find the apartment number the man provided, and they notice the door is unlocked. They announce their presence, calling out into the apartment. Silence. There's no response. Following protocol, they enter. And there, sitting at a simple kitchen table, is the man who made the call. He matches the description he gave perfectly. Same clothes, same build, and the same eerily calm expression on his face. The scene is strangely serene. There are no signs of distress, no evidence of a struggle. One of the officers later remarked that it felt like they had simply interrupted him while he was waiting for something to happen. They begin their routine questioning. Why did he believe someone was following him? The man glances toward a short hallway that leads deeper into the apartment before answering. Because they won't let me leave, the officers press him, asking who he means by they. He just shakes his head. That part never matters. The officers decide to verify his identity and request his ID. The man hesitates for just a moment, a flicker of something in his otherwise placid demeanor. Then he stands up. "It's in the other room," he says, and turns to walk toward the hallway. This is where the story takes a turn from strange to impossible. One officer follows him, staying just a few steps behind. The second officer remains in the kitchen, maintaining a clear line of sight to the front door. The hallway itself is short. There are no side doors, no closets, no bathroom entrances, just a straight path to another room. The officer watches the man turn the corner at the end of the hall. The officer follows immediately after, not even a full second behind him. And the hallway is empty. There were no footsteps, no sound of a door closing, nothing. The man was simply gone. The officer is stunned. He calls out, but there's no answer. The apartment is completely silent. Instantly, the officers secure the apartment. A full-scale search begins. They check every single room, every corner. They look behind the few pieces of furniture, inside cabinets, under the bed. Nothing. They confirm all the windows are locked securely from the inside. There's no balcony, no fire escape, no hidden crawl spaces. And the entire time, the front door had been in the second officer's view. No one had exited. The situation escalates. The building is locked down. Every resident is questioned. No one reports seeing the man leave. In fact, no one reports seeing him at all. As the search continues, investigators start noticing other odd things about the apartment itself. It felt temporary, staged. There were no personal photographs on the walls, no mail on the table, no unique or identifiable belongings anywhere. The furniture was minimal, generic, as if the space was occupied, but never truly lived in. They contact the building management, hoping for a lead. But the information they receive only deepens the mystery. The apartment wasn't rented under the name the man had given them. In fact, according to their records, it wasn't officially rented to anyone at all. It was supposed to be vacant. Frustrated, investigators run the name the man provided through every available database. They search for a driver's license, employment records, a medical history, anything. The result is a complete dead end, not even a partial match. His name, for all intents and purposes, didn't exist. There were no missing person reports that fit his description either. The neighbors were interviewed again. None of them could recall ever seeing him before. One neighbor put it plainly, "If he lived there, we would have noticed," but no one had. The investigation circles back to the only piece of concrete evidence they have, the emergency call. They replay the recording, listening over and over, hoping to catch something they missed. That's when audio analysts make a truly unsettling discovery. Buried deep in the audio, there's a second voice. It's incredibly faint, very close to the phone, but it's there. It isn't responding to the caller or speaking directly to him. It's just present, a whisper in the background that the caller never acknowledged and the dispatchers never heard in real time. Only through enhanced playback did it become clear. The voice itself was completely unintelligible. And then there was the problem of the phone itself. The call was real. It wasn't spoofed or faked. But the phone number it came from wasn't registered to any carrier. There was no billing history, no device record. It was a ghost number, one that seemed to exist only for the duration of that single, haunting call. And, of course, no phone was ever found in the apartment. Authorities tried to come up with logical explanations. Maybe it was a simple misunderstanding. Perhaps a momentary lapse in perception by the officers. Maybe an unauthorized occupant had found a clever way to flee unnoticed. But none of those theories could explain how a man vanished from a sealed hallway between two police officers. None could explain how he exited a secured apartment. And none could explain why his identity led nowhere, or why the emergency call came from a number that technically shouldn't exist. In the end, with no leads and no answers, the report was quietly archived. No charges were ever filed. No suspect was ever named. The apartment was eventually cleaned out and rented to new tenants. No similar incidents have ever been reported there since. The officers involved in the case never spoke publicly about it again, but sources say they agree on one thing. They spoke to someone that night. They just don't know where he went. Or if the man they met was ever really supposed to be there at all. Thanks for watching. If you find these kinds of unsolved mysteries as fascinating as I do, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next video.